Welcome to Java Tips and Tricks. If you are a Java developer or taking up Java certification or interviews, you must watch this series. Let us learn Java 8 features. First of all, let me create an interface called as My Interface. Like previous versions, we can have some signatures or prototypes for an interface so that they can be implemented in the implementation classes. In addition to this, in Java 8 and above, you can have default methods. For example, if I have a method called say void m1, then I can mark it as default, then I can give my own implementation. So this is the default implementation or default method inside an interface, that is a new addition in Java 8. In addition to default methods, we can also have static methods inside an interface. So let me go to Java compiler settings, change it to 1.7. When I do that, the two methods which I defined inside interface, they give compilation errors because these are the features that were introduced in Java 1.8. So let me revert to 1.8 again. Now how to call the methods of the interface? Let us check that. So I will create a reference of my interface, and using lambda expressions I will implement the method. For that I just have to give the parameter followed by arrow and the executable statements. So here I am saying sysout, this is implemented. So this will implement the method of my interface. Now I can call the method test by saying I1 dot test and pass the parameter. If I have to call the default methods, I can do that by writing I1 dot M1, and in order to call the static method, I don't need this object, I can just say my interface dot S1. So we got the output of this. Now the statement what you are seeing here, it is in place of writing implements the interface. That is our traditional practice. Instead of writing that, we can straight away create an anonymous inner class with the method implemented using lambda expressions. So this is how it looks. Now whenever we have an interface that has only one functionality to be implemented, as in this case, then this particular interface is called as a functional interface. It can also be annotated by writing @functional interface. One more point to be remembered is lambda expressions on an interface works only if it is a functional interface. Let me take another example. I am calling it as example 1, in which I have an array list of few numbers, and in order to iterate through the list, I can say for each within round brackets. I am referring to every element of the list, so I can say I followed by arrow, and I can write system.out.print I, that will print all the elements of the list. So this is another feature of Java 8. We have something called a method stream that helps in streaming a set of values, after which we can filter the elements based on some conditions or perform some other operations on the elements. So let us see how to do that. So list1 dot stream, There are two kinds of streams here. You have sequential stream and parallel stream. So, sequential stream process the elements in the sequential manner, whereas parallel stream processes the elements parallelly, like multi-threading concept. So, if I write here list 1 dot stream dot filter, this is a sequential stream by default, and inside the round brackets I write I arrow I greater than 3, which means I am referring to every element of the list after streaming it, and I am filtering it with a condition that I should be greater than 3. So, this is called as a sequential streaming and filtering the elements. So, after filtering, we can perform some more operations, like I can say for each every element and print that element. Now, let us understand another way of streaming the elements, that is parallel stream. So, for that let me copy this statement again. And here instead of stream I will write parallel stream, then check the difference in the output of these two statements. So, I will make this as parallel stream and filter the elements based on the same condition, after which I am printing all the elements using a for each loop. So, this becomes a parallel stream. Now, let us check the output of this program. So, if you see after filtering the elements, there are only 3 elements which are greater than 3 as per the condition. So, in sequential stream, if you see, the numbers are printed in the same sequence, whereas when I use parallel stream, the elements are not in the same sequence. It can be in any random manner because it is processing it parallelly, like how multi-threading works. So, 5 6 4, this is for sequential stream, 4 6 5, that was for parallel stream. So, that is the difference between sequential stream and parallel stream. This is another feature of Java 8. Now, let us understand some more methods of stream. There's one more method called max to find maximum of the elements in a collection. So, in earlier versions we were writing collections dot max and pass the collection as the parameter. That is how we were doing. Now, the same thing can be done in Java 8 with the help of the method stream dot max. Let us see how to do that now. So, this is how we were doing it in the previous version. Like max, you have sort. So, let us come to this little later. So, now list 1 dot stream dot max, this actually takes in the data type that you are going to compare in your list. So, in our case it is an integer list. So, here I can write integer 2 colons, that is the operator, followed by compare. So, because I am comparing the integers, then dot get. This gives me the maximum element from the list. Now, I print it. So, I write this out. and the complete statement is within the sysout parameter. So, I get the maximum element from the list. Now, instead of integer, if I am referring to some user defined type or a reference type, say user. Now, let us assume we have a class called user and I want to compare the user objects and find the maximum object. Suppose my class is a user which has salary name as the attributes. So, this is double. So, let me make it as the wrapper type double, which has a constructor. So, what I can do here is I create a list of users, I add few users here and their salaries are different like you see here. So, now I want to find maximum object or the user who has the maximum salary. So, how to do that? So, what I can do is I can write sysout users.stream.max and here I need to write the implementation for a comparator. This actually we were doing it in previous versions also. So, I can write new comparator and I define the method compare that compares to user objects based on the salary. So, I get the user object who has the maximum salary. So, inside my user class I define toString method also. Now, the method that you are seeing here or the anonymous inner class new comparator that you are seeing, this can be replaced with lambda expressions. So, what I can do is I can say comparator user c equal to user u1 user u2 and within which I return u1 dot get salary dot compare to u2 dot get salary. So, this actually replaces the compare method that we have written in the previous code and then I apply max and get. So, this is how you get the maximum object. Now, there is another way of doing this. What we can do is we can say comparator dot comparing the key extractor which is user double colon get salary without parenthesis, that is the syntax. Then I can say c dot max of c dot get. So, I can do this way also. So, here I am using a method called comparing. So, in that case we do not have to write the complete statements for the implementation of comparator. Similarly, I can use the same method for sorting also. So, I can write collections dot sort users comma the comparator which we have already defined, that is C. So, this will sort users based on salary and here the names are same, we can change it. Since I am comparing based on salary, I have not taken that into consideration.